Tonight, you are about to hear a story designed to gently slow your thoughts, relax your breathing, and guide you into deep, restful sleep. This is a calm journey into one of the most mysterious places on Earth, the Bermuda Triangle. A story told softly, with careful detail, steady rhythm, and quiet wonder. By the time this story unfolds, your body will feel heavy, your mind will drift, and sleep will come naturally. You will fall asleep easily and sleep like a child. Take a slow breath now and begin. The Atlantic Ocean at night is wider than the imagination prefers, especially 300 miles east of Florida, where shipping routes thin out, radar signals soften, and the stars seem closer than the water below. Captain Daniel Mercer had crossed this route 42 times. He was not a thrill seeker, not a conspiracy hunter, not a believer in legends. He believed in charts, in fuel calculations, in weather reports, and proper maintenance logs. His vessel, the research support ship Artemis Dawn, was modern, quiet, and meticulously inspected. No missing bolts, no faulty antennas, no ghost stories on board. Just instruments, coffee, and routine. It was late September. Warm air, slow winds, long rolling swells. The kind of sea that feels almost asleep. Daniel liked seas like that. They made the engines sound softer, more distant, like a heartbeat heard through a wall. At 0117 a.m. ship time, a signal arrived. Not an alarm, not a distress beacon, just a narrow, repeating tone. Soft, even, measured. It slipped into the radio band like a whisper between two breaths. The communications officer, Lena Brooks, noticed it first. She adjusted her headset, listened again, and frowned, not from fear, but from curiosity. "Captain," she said calmly, "there's a carrier tone here. Old format, very old format." Daniel stepped in, still holding his mug. "How old?" She rotated the spectrum display. "Pre-digital. Maybe aviation band, but the signature is wrong." The tone repeated, every 12 seconds, precise, patient, unhurried, like something that had all the time in the world. They logged it, routine procedure. Unknown signals happen, satellites reflect, storms bend frequencies. Old buoys wake up and speak nonsense. But this one did not drift, did not fade, did not distort. It remained exact and centered, as if it knew exactly where they were. Daniel did not feel fear, only a mild, professional irritation. Unexplained signals create paperwork. Paperwork creates delays. Delays ruin schedules. Schedules ruin sleep. He almost smiled at that thought. Outside, the ocean moved slowly, black glass with silver breathing lines. No storms, no lightning, no drama, only distance, endless, comfortable distance. Lena ran a passive trace, no bounce signature, no satellite echo, no directional scatter, which meant only one thing. The signal was close, very close, within 50 nautical miles, possibly less, and transmitting with very low power, almost as if it did not want to be found. Daniel finally sat down, set his coffee aside, and listened, not with instruments, just with attention. The tone repeated, soft, steady, unchanging. He noticed something strange. The spacing between pulses matched human breathing rhythm. Inhale, exhale, pause, repeat. He didn't mention that thought because professionals don't say things like that out loud. Daniel checked the navigation map. Nothing unusual. No nearby vessels, no emergency beacons, no drifting transmitters. Just open water and patient coordinates. Latitude, longitude, numbers resting quietly on a blue digital grid. He zoomed out, then in, then out again. Still nothing. "Run a frequency fingerprint," he said softly. Lena nodded. No rush, no tension, just procedure. Her fingers moved, slowly, precisely. The ship hummed beneath them, engines steady, cooling pumps whispering, metal gently expanding and relaxing with temperature change, a floating building breathing in steel. The tone continued, every 12 seconds, never early, never late, like a metronome for someone who did not hurry. "Pattern match found," Lena said, but she did not sound excited. She sounded puzzled. "Source?" Daniel asked. She leaned closer to the screen, then leaned even closer, as if distance might change the answer. "Archived Aviation Emergency Band, circa 1968 format encoding." Daniel blinked once. That band had been retired decades ago. No modern transmitter should produce it. "Replay it through filter," he said. They listened. Now the tone sounded less like a beep, more like a breath through a hollow pipe. Low, rounded, almost organic. It rose gently, fell gently, paused, returned. Daniel noticed his own breathing had begun to follow it. In, out, pause, repeat. Daniel did not try to stop that. There was no reason to. The bridge lighting was already dimmed for night operations. Amber glow, soft shadows, no sharp edges, only calm geometry. Outside the forward glass, cloud bands moved slowly, thin, layered, like brushed silk. Moonlight filtered through them, turning the ocean surface into muted silver. Not bright, not dark, just quiet. "Range estimate?" Daniel asked. 30 miles, Lena replied. Then, after a moment, "Maybe closer. Signal strength is increasing, but smoothly, very smoothly. Not like approach, more like alignment." "Course change?" asked the first officer. Daniel thought for a full 10 seconds, long enough to be deliberate, short enough to be normal. 2 degrees starboard, he said. Nothing dramatic, just observational. The helm adjusted. The ship responded slowly, like a thoughtful animal. Water parted, closed again. No splash, only weight. The tone grew slightly warmer, not louder, just fuller, like a sound heard from inside a wooden room. "Recording anomaly," Lena murmured. "Waveform isn't stable, but not random either." "Meaning?" "It's aging. Daniel gave a small, tired smile. Signals don't age. This one does. She rotated the waveform display. Tiny microdrifts, tiny compression artifacts, patterns that normally appear after magnetic tape copies, not live transmission, but duplication of a duplication of a duplication. The timestamp decoder finally produced text, not coordinates, not ID, just 3 letters repeating ADM, ADM, ADM. Station code? Someone asked quietly. No registry match, Lena said. Daniel searched memory, not databases, memory. Old accident reports, training archives, case studies. ADM, Air Defense Marker, Air Data Module, Atlantic Drift Monitor. Too many matches, none correct. The sea remained calm, almost too calm. Long, slow swells, like breathing from something enormous sleeping below. No wind shear, no spray, just motion. Gentle, predictable, comforting. Log it, Daniel said. Tag unknown, non-distress, continuous. Routine language, routine tone, routine voice. Because routine keeps people calm, and calm keeps nights smooth. But without realizing it, everyone on the bridge was now breathing in the same rhythm as the signal. In, out, pause, repeat. At 01:46 a.m., the autopilot requested confirmation. Not an alarm, just a polite prompt. Course deviation 2.1 degrees. Starboard. Uncommanded. The notification did not flash red. It did not beep loudly. It appeared like a gentle reminder, the kind software gives when it assumes you already know. Daniel studied the heading line. Thin, green, steady, except for a slow curve, like a pencil line drawn by a relaxed hand. He checked helm input logs. No manual touch, no corrective burst, no system error. Compensate, he said quietly. The helm corrected. The ship obeyed. The green line returned to straight. 30 seconds passed. Then the curve returned. Small, patient, almost polite. Cross-check gyro, Daniel said. Numbers matched. Perfectly. Magnetic compass agreed. Satellite heading agreed. Yet the track line continued drifting, as if the ocean itself preferred a slightly different direction. No one felt alarm, only curiosity. Soft, professional curiosity, the kind that keeps voices low. Lena spoke again. Signal strength increased 4%. No emphasis, just fact. Distance? 22 miles approximate. Still smooth, still stable, still breathing. Daniel rolled his shoulders slowly. Night shifts often create minor anomalies. Sensors warm differently at night. Atmospheric layers bend signals. Humidity plays tricks. Nothing mysterious, only physics. And patience. Still, he ordered passive radar sweep. Low power, wide arc. The display painted empty space and wave texture. empty space and soft static. Then, for half a second, a return. Not bright, not solid, just a suggestion of structure. Tall, narrow, vertical, gone. "Repeat sweep," he said. They did. Nothing. Only ocean, only distance. No one hurried, because hurry belongs to danger, and this felt calm. Too calm to be danger. The ship's clock ticked. Soft relay clicks deep in the panel. Tiny mechanical heartbeats measuring nothing but sequence. Daniel requested historical overlay. Old incident grid. Last 70 years. Bermuda region. Markers appeared. Small gray dots. Aircraft losses. Signal disappearances. Unresolved returns. Navigation drift reports. Clusters formed. Not dramatic, not cinematic, just statistics. But one cluster matched their vector, within 15 miles, spread across 4 decades. Different craft, different crews, same notes. Short entries, similar wording. Instrument drift, compass disagreement, breathing tone on band. Daniel exhaled slowly. Not fear, recognition, the feeling of seeing a pattern that refuses to introduce itself. "Coffee?" asked the first officer. Daniel nodded. Warmth helps night thinking. Steam rose, slow, transparent, curling, like a ghost with nowhere urgent to be. The tone continued. In, out, pause, repeat. Without noticing, bridge conversation had begun to match its spacing. At 2:08 a.m., the sea changed. Not violently, not suddenly, just subtly. Like a room where someone has lowered the volume of the world. Wave height decreased, surface tension smoothed, white edges vanished. The ocean became layered glass, moving, but without texture. Wind dropped, the first officer noted, but instruments showed the same reading, 6 knots, unchanged. Yet outside, nothing moved. No ripple trails, no loose spray. Even the ship's wake closed faster than it should. Daniel stepped to the side window, looked down. The water reflected stars too clearly, as if depth had stepped aside and left only surface. "Log visual anomaly," he said gently. "No drama, just record keeping." The tone repeated. In, out, pause. Now it sounded closer, not louder, closer, like hearing someone breathe across a quiet room. Lena adjusted the gain curve. "Captain, there's modulation now." Define modulation. Microvariance inside each pulse, almost like texture. They expanded the waveform. The curve was not smooth anymore. It contained tiny ridges, tiny valleys, repeating in structured sets. "Pattern?" Daniel asked. "Working," she answered. "No rush. Night work is slow work, careful work." The ship's interior felt warmer, not by temperature, by sensation, the way libraries feel warm, even when cool. Somewhere below, a loose cable tapped gently with engine vibration. Tick, 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 perfectly between signal pulses. No one mentioned that, because coincidence is common at sea. Pattern resolution finished. Lena leaned back, then forward again just to confirm. "You're not going to like this." Daniel smiled slightly. "I rarely like patterns at 2 in the morning. It's structured like syllables." He waited. She rotated the display, grouped the ridges into sets: short, long, short, pause, long, short, pause, repeating. "Morse?" someone asked. "No," she said softly. "Slower, more organic. Spacing is wrong for Morse, right for breathing speech." They routed it through phonetic mapper, experimental software, usually useless. Tonight, not useless. Output appeared, low confidence, fragmented, but readable. 3 syllables, repeating, over and over. Artemis, Artemis, Artemis. No one spoke for several seconds. Not fear, just attention. The ship's name was Artemis Dawn, painted across the hull, registered in Norfolk, documented everywhere, but not broadcast, not in old aviation bands, not in 1968 formats. Daniel felt a strange calm, the kind that comes when a puzzle stops pretending to be random. "Possible reflection artifact," he said gently, "because calm leaders offer calm explanations from our own systems." But Lena slowly shook her head. "We are not transmitting anything on that band." Outside, the ocean remained smooth, like polished stone, floating in darkness. The tone breathed, the ship listened, the night continued, unhurried. No one panicked, because nothing felt like danger. Only pattern, only coincidence, only late-night mathematics. Daniel sat down again, slowly. Chair leather gave a soft sigh, like fabric settling into sleep. "Run registry echo search," he said quietly. "Any historic vessel named Artemis lost in region." Lena nodded. Search queries move slowly over maritime databases, like trawling nets, wide, patient. While the system searched, the tone continued. In, out, pause. Artemis. In, out, pause. Artemis. Repetition is naturally calming. The brain likes loops, predictable loops, like waves, like breathing, like distant engines. Result appeared. Single match, partial, fragmented record. Research aircraft. Call sign Artemis 3. Weather survey platform. Last contact April 1971, edge of Bermuda region. Status: unresolved. Daniel did not react immediately. He read twice, slowly, like tired eyes prefer. Cause, he asked. Listed as instrument disagreement, followed by navigational drift, followed by signal fade. How many on board? 3. No names loaded. Archive incomplete. Magnetic tape era. Paper era. Lost era. Signal type recorded? Yes. Pause. Described as steady tonal carrier, breathing cadence. No one spoke, because silence is the most efficient form of processing. Outside, a thin mist layer had formed. Not fog, just suspended softness. Low, even, silver gray. Moonlight did not bounce. It spread like milk in water. Visibility remained good, but distance looked closer than distance should. Daniel checked barometric trend. Stable. Sea temperature? Stable. Salinity? Stable. Everything stable, except meaning. The radar showed light surface clutter, then less, then almost none, as if waves were choosing not to report themselves. Passive sonar? He asked. Already running, came the reply. Background noise was unusually low. No distant cargo screws, no shrimp crackle, no deep thermal pops, just the ship and soft water. It felt like being inside a paused recording. The phonetic mapper updated confidence from low to moderate. The syllables aligned again. R, te, miss. Then added one more, soft, trailing word. Low probability, but present. Home. Arte, miss, home. Arte, miss, home. No urgency, no command, just invitation. Spoken by mathematics and noise. Daniel finally stood, not tense, just attentive. Adjust course 1 more degree starboard. No explanation, just curiosity, measured curiosity. The helm moved, water parted, closed, forgot. The tone did not change, but everyone felt closer. At 2:41 a.m., the mist lowered, not falling, not rolling, just settling, like a blanket choosing a place to rest. The horizon softened, edges dissolved, sea and sky agreed to look alike. Navigation lights reflected back from the haze. Red, green, white, small halos floating around the ship. Distance became gentle, not far, not near, just undefined. The tone continued, patient, unchanging, breathing, in, out, pause. Artemis, home. No one repeated it aloud, yet everyone heard the words inside the sound. Lena reduced audio gain. The signal did not weaken, which meant it was not loud. It was intimate, like a voice heard through memory instead of air. Daniel checked time drift across all systems: ship clock, satellite clock, engine controller clock, recorder clock, all matched within tolerance. Yet the log entries felt longer than time. Night shift minutes sometimes stretch like warm wax, slow, flexible, unhurried. Thermal layer changed, the sonar tech said quietly. Explain? Daniel answered. Surface water 2 degrees warmer, uniform across sweep. That shouldn't happen this fast. Sensor fault? Cross-checked, second probe agrees. Warm water, calm surface, low noise, soft air. It felt like a harbor without land. The passive radar returned the vertical trace, again, this time 2 seconds tall, thin, stationary, no wake, no transponder, no ID, then gone, like chalk wiped from dark glass. Mark bearing, Daniel said softly. No urgency, just documentation, because writing things down makes them behave. Bearing locked, range uncertain, signal still 20 miles, but feeling closer. The phonetic engine updated again, confidence rising, not fast, but steady, like frost forming. New fragments appeared between syllables, low probability, but repeating. Stay, on, line. Artemis, stay, on, line. Artemis, home. No threat, no warning, only guidance, spoken like a lighthouse speaks, without words. Daniel noticed fatigue arriving, not heavy, not sharp, just warm behind the eyes. He welcomed it. Fatigue means systems are calm enough to allow it. He stretched slowly, neck, shoulders, hands, each movement unhurried, like the sea. The engines maintained their deep, layered hum. Low frequencies travel far through steel, through bone, through thought. Many sailors sleep best on moving ships because vibration is a cradle made of sound. Outside, the mist glowed faintly from moonlight, from starlight, from nothing visible at all. The ocean looked endless and close at the same time. The tone breathed. The ship listened. The night did not hurry. At 03:12 a.m., the course line stopped drifting. Not corrected, not forced, simply settled. The heading aligned with the bearing of the vertical trace, without command, without adjustment, like a compass needle finding comfort. No alarms sounded because nothing was technically wrong. Every number remained within tolerance. The best anomalies are polite. They do not break systems. They cooperate with them. Daniel approved hands-off observation mode. No further corrections unless safety required, which it did not. The ship moved forward with long, measured confidence, like a train crossing invisible rails. The mist became thinner, but brighter, each droplet holding a suggestion of light. Stars above, stars below, reflected so clearly it felt like traveling between two skies. The tone changed slightly, not in pitch, not in timing, in character. It sounded closer to voice than signal. Lena routed it through harmonic enhancer. The software added nothing, but revealed what was already there. Layered frequencies nested, like chords played very slowly. Not a beacon, she whispered, more like a carrier wave with memory. Daniel liked that phrase, carrier wave with memory. Memory is pattern. Pattern is repetition. Repetition is calming. The vertical trace returned again, longer this time. 5 seconds, then 8. Still stationary, tall, needle thin. No surface return, no wake, no motion. Sea depth? Daniel asked. 4,000 meters, came the reply. Nothing should stand there. Nothing could anchor there. Yet the trace did not drift. Daniel imagined an old weather tower, fallen long ago, standing where it should not. Thought, then released the thought. Night thinking is allowed to be poetic, because night does not argue. The decoded stream added new spacing, new phrasing, not commands, not warnings, statements, simple, gentle. You are close. Maintain heading, steady. No urgency, no threat, only reassurance from mathematics and time. The bridge air felt extra still, like a recording studio, waiting for the next note. No one raised their voice because quiet had become the shared agreement. Daniel noticed even the ship sounded different, not quieter, deeper, as if surrounded by soft material instead of air. Some environments absorb sound. Snow does, fog does, memory does. The tone breathed. Everyone listened. No one strained. At 3:38 a.m., the mist opened. Not parted, opened. Like curtains moved by invisible hands. Ahead, the ocean surface changed color. Not brighter, not darker, just different. Like old glass seen through water. Surface reflectivity shift, Lena said softly. Technical words, spoken in a sleepy voice, sound like lullabies. The water no longer mirrored stars. It held them, gently, as if depth had risen to meet light. Depth check? Daniel said. Confirming. Pause. Reading inconsistent primary sonar shows depth 4,000 meters. Secondary shows 120. No one reacted quickly because slow reactions belong to careful crews. Run again. Running again. Same result. Deep and shallow at once. Daniel nodded once. Log dual layer return. Because naming things makes them calmer. The vertical trace now showed a faint base. Wide, circular, very faint, like something remembered by the instrument rather than seen. The signal tone softened, edges rounded, like corners worn smooth by time. The decoded phrases simplified, shorter, more spaced. Welcome. Pause. On course. Pause. Rest now. No command authority, no override, just suggestion, wrapped in repetition. The engines reduced load automatically. Micro adjustment for water resistance. Less drag than expected. It feels like harbor water, the first officer murmured. Daniel nodded. Yes, it did. Harbor water is thicker in sensation, calmer, more supportive. The ship moved easier, as if carried, not cutting, but being held. Bridge lighting dimmed one step more. Night mode. Deep amber. Soft gold, almost candle-like. Screens looked warmer. Numbers looked slower. Even digital clocks seemed unhurried. Fatigue spread evenly across the crew. Not heavy, just gentle, like warm blankets placed across shoulders. No one fought it because nothing required speed. The tone now blended with engine hum, signal and ship breathing together. In, out, pause, home. Daniel realized he was no longer listening actively, only receiving, like hearing rain from another room. Attention had softened into awareness, awareness into presence, presence into quiet. Outside, the strange surface glowed faintly from within. Not light exactly, more like memory of light. The vertical trace filled one full return. Tall, thin, connected surface to deep. Like a needle threading two oceans together. No threat, no alarm, only structure. Standing where charts remain silent. At 04:02 a.m., the ship entered the circle. No line marked it, no buoy announced it, but every instrument agreed they had crossed something. Water resistance dropped again, Engines compensated with a softer tone, lower, rounder, like distant thunder heard through pillows. The circular base on sonar expanded from faint to certain, wide, smooth, symmetrical, too precise for geology, too quiet for machinery. Daniel did not name it because names create edges, and this had none. "Hold present speed," he said softly. No one objected. Agreement requires no sound. At that hour, the tone merged with background vibration, no longer separate, just part of the ship's body. Decoded phrases stopped updating, not lost, completed, like a message that reached its destination. Silence returned, but not empty silence, full silence, like a library under snow. Bridge displays stabilized, all drift values 0, all offsets 0, all variance minimal. Perfect readings are rare at sea, but welcome. Outside, the glowing surface became ordinary, dark, soft, wave-textured, familiar. Stars returned to being reflections instead of residents. Mist lifted gradually without farewell. The vertical trace remained, one last sweep, then dissolved from the radar, like breath from cold air. No crash, no vanishing, no drama, just absence. Lena checked recording buffers, all data stored, time-stamped, clean, consistent, real. "Recommendation?" the first officer asked. Daniel answered without hesitation. "Continue route, because forward is the calmest decision." Course line extended, straight across the chart like thread through fabric. Behind them, the circle did not appear on wake camera. Water closed, featureless, undisturbed. Many phenomena at sea leave no mark, only memory and better sleep after. Fatigue deepened, warm, heavy, kind. Daniel finally allowed himself a long, slow breath. He realized he felt rested, more rested than before the signal began. Not energized, not excited, simply settled, like a question that decided not to insist on an answer. He wrote the final log note in calm wording, measured wording, night wording. Unidentified legacy signal, localized anomaly, non-hostile, non-repeating, resolved by passage. Then he added one private line, not required, not technical, just human. Felt welcomed. The ocean continued breathing slow, endless, patient, and the ship moved forward quietly, carried between two sleeping skies. The night continued without effort, without urgency, without questions. The ship kept moving at the same gentle speed, through calm Atlantic water. No one rushed, no one whispered, even silence was relaxed. The instruments glowed softly, numbers breathing, changing slowly, like tide marks on quiet sand. Daniel sat, watching, not searching, not solving, just present. There is a special calm that comes after mystery, does not demand an answer, only experience, only memory, only quiet understanding. Behind the ship, miles of dark water folded closed, like fabric after a hand passes over it. Nothing to chase, nothing to prove, nothing to fix. The ocean does not always hide. Sometimes it simply does not explain, and that is peaceful. The crew worked slower, moved softer, spoke less, not from fear, from comfort. Fatigue now felt like warmth, not weight. Eyes blinked longer between moments. Breathing matched engine rhythm. In, out, pause. In, out, pause. Somewhere far behind, where charts remain vague and stories grow gently, the quiet circle rested, unseen, untroubled. Not a trap, not a threat, just a place where signals finish speaking. Daniel closed the incident tab, archived, tagged, stored. Data sleeps too when recorded. He wrapped his hands around warm ceramic, the last coffee, now mild, now comforting. Warmth travels slowly through fingers, through palms, through arms, through shoulders. Relaxation moves the same way. Outside, a faint early horizon began to imagine light. Not sunrise yet, only possibility. Clouds soft, wide, drifting, without edges. The Atlantic looked endless but friendly, large but gentle, like a deep breath that never needs to finish. The ship, Artemis Dawn, continued forward, unhurried, unburdened, steady. Some journeys are loud and remembered for noise. Others are quiet and remembered for calm. This was a calm one. If you were there, you would feel the vibration through the deck, like a cradle made of distance and time. You would hear low engines, soft air, gentle structure sounds, tiny clicks, tiny hums, tiny whispers of metal at rest while moving. And you would grow heavier and calmer with each minute. Nothing follows, nothing chases, nothing calls anymore. The signal is finished. The passage is complete. The night is kind. Now there is only drift, breath, warmth, dark, rest. Let the ship sail on without you watching. Let the ocean breathe without you counting. Let the story continue without you listening. Sleep now, deeply, easily, safely. You are calm, you are heavy, you are at rest. Good night.